Hi Leo, Happy New Year. Welcome to January. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and I'm getting ready to do your love TarotScope for the new year. And first let me call in some good energy for the new year and for this reading. And I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for commenting, taking time out to comment. I read all of your comments. And for those of you who've purchased readings, thank you for your support. So let's see what's going on for January for Leo. We have a full supermoon on January 1st, and that's in Cancer, falling in your 12th house. And then we have a new moon in Capricorn in your 6th house on the 16th. And then we have a full moon, another full moon on the 31st in Leo, and that's going to be an eclipse. So there's some important energy coming up this month that can lead to endings and new beginnings. Let's see what's going on for Leo for the month of January. What does Leo need to know about love and relationships for the month of January? What does Leo need to know? Okay, let's see what the cards say. Okay, I don't know where you guys are in the world, but it is freezing cold here today. That must be all that Capricorn energy. Okay, the Five of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Devil, the Queen of Wands, the Magician, the Judgment, the Tower, the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and the Star. Okay, so you start the month off with the Five of Swords crossed by the Six of Pentacles. The Five of Swords is an energy where you feel victimized. You feel that maybe you've been you're experiencing hostility from someone, and you just feel that you can't change the situation, and you're thinking about just cutting your losses and moving on. This is sometimes comes up when you're feeling like you're dealing with someone's anger or hostility. Part of it, it takes two to tango. So you may want to blame the other person, but you have to look at your part too. And the problem that could be causing the conflict is shown in the Six of Pentacles, and this is a card that has to do with giving and receiving. So sometimes when the Six comes up, it could be that you're involved in a situation where there's an imbalance in a relationship, especially when it comes to money or finances. Someone might be doing all the work in the relationship. There's an imbalance, either paying all the bills, or someone's working to save a relationship, but the other person's not really contributing. So there's an imbalance, and that leads to frustration and resentment. And so this is what you're experiencing in the Five of Swords. You're experiencing someone's frustration and resentment. And from your perspective, you're feeling victimized. You're feeling, why is this person being so mean? But you have to question yourself, have I been giving enough to this relationship? Have I been doing my part? And for some of you, the answer is yes, and you're just dealing with someone who's mean or hostile. In that case, you may want to think about cutting your losses and moving on. But if you examine yourself and you realize that maybe you haven't been contributing enough to the relationship, you haven't been giving enough in return, then maybe you could understand what the problem is and try to fix it by creating more balance, creating more of an equal distribution, where you're contributing you're giving as much as you're getting. The past, the issue, another part of the issue at any problems that you might be experiencing is shown in the Devil card. The Devil can be a card of addiction. Maybe one of you in the relationship is addicted to drugs or alcohol. One of you, it could be a sexual problem, you know, where you're just physically attracted to someone, you feel a lot of chemistry with the person, but that's as far as it goes. There's no real meeting of the minds. It might be just a sexual attraction. Or it could be that you're afraid of getting, because this is a fear card also. The Devil is a card of desire, but it's also a card of fear. It's a card where you kind of feel like you want to be with someone and then you're afraid to get involved. You're afraid to go too deep because you're afraid of getting swallowed up by the relationship. The feelings are too strong. The passions are too strong. So it could be sometimes that you could be involved in a volatile relationship, or a relationship that feels that has some kind of dysfunction attached to it. Because with the Devil and the Five of Swords and the 6 here, there might be some type of dysfunctional relationship where either it's like a codependent type of relationship where one person is too dependent on the other. It's not like an equal energy. One person is maybe having control of the purse strings, the money. Another person feels like the victim, or feels like less than because they don't have control of the money. It's a card of dependency. If it's not an addiction, like an alcohol or drug problem, then it could just be like you're too dependent on someone. Maybe you're too dependent on them financially for some reason. So the Queen, this could describe a person in your life that you're involved with, male or female. The Queen energy here is someone who is very take charge type of person, very outgoing, outspoken. They don't, they tell the truth, whether you want to hear it or not, whether it's, you know, they don't spare your feelings. They're very honest. So maybe they might have said some things that you didn't want to hear. On another way that this card could play out is that you need to take some type of leadership ability. You need to tap into the leadership ability of the Queen of Wands, where you take charge of your life and you stop depending on other people to be there to support you. You know, you have to say, look, I've got to take responsibility for my life. I can't keep depending on people. I can't keep living in a state of helplessness. I have to take charge of my life. I have to make my life better. And I think you're going to have some kind of awakening in this month. You're going to have a wake-up call, because you have the Tower here and the Judgment card. There's a lot of cards here that are suggesting that you need to take time out to think. With the Magician, though, you know, the funny thing is, you're not utilizing your talents. The Magician is telling you that you have a lot of talent, and you could use your talent to manifest prosperity and manifest whatever you want. You can make a dream real if you just focus on manifesting it, if you put your energy in the right direction. So you may have been kind of got caught up in this Devil energy where you're just feeling trapped and you're feeling like something has power over you, and you're kind of like giving your power away. With the Magician, you can get your power back through the power of positive thinking, through the power of visualization, through the power of realizing that you have talent, that you have abilities that you need to share with the world. You know, these are major arcana. You have a lot of major arcana in this reading. So there's strong spiritual forces around you kind of pushing you in a direction. The Judgment is a card of resurrection. It's a card of waking up to who you are and like rebirth, having a rebirth, where you suddenly, you know, maybe something has to end, or you have to have some kind of blow to your ego or some kind of shock or realization that wakes you up and says, you know what, I need to change. I can't keep doing this. Like whatever you've been doing, it's just not working. and it's creating problems and frustration in relationship. So with the Judgment card here, you're having a wake-up call. And especially with the Tower usually, it kind of is like a slap upside the head, where you kind of just, you're feeling like something is crumbling. Some lifestyle, some situation that has always been there for you is suddenly, it seems like it's falling apart. And you yourself may feel that way. You know, this is sometimes, it's a breaking down so that you can rebuild. And for some people that can mean a break in a relationship or in a career path, or some situation. It just seems to be crumbling, like everything is crumbling. But what it really is trying to do is wake you up. It's, you know, whatever is being destroyed is being destroyed because it's false, because it doesn't work anymore, and it needs to be rebuilt in a better way. So if a relationship is coming apart, you can wake up to what's going on wrong and either, you know, rebuild in a better direction, try to change the way you've been acting so that you can make things better. Or it could possibly be for some people you can save the relationship. You know, it falls apart so that you could rebuild it in a better direction. Or for some people it may be that you need to just walk away from it. You need to be released from something that's just not working, something that may be toxic or not healthy for you, an unhealthy attachment. That's sometimes what the devil is. You could be attached to someone in an unhealthy way. So the Judgment, with the Judgment card, you kind of wake up and you say, you know what, I need to change. I see the truth of what's going on and I need to make changes. This just isn't working. My life just isn't working. Whatever patterns that I've been following, you know, it could be something as old as, you know, something you've been living your whole life a certain way, and then suddenly you wake up and say, I have to stop doing this. I have to stop. If it's an addiction, I have to quit, you know, either smoking, drinking, whatever. If it's some type of obsession, I have to give it up. Whatever it is that you're holding on to that's not healthy for you, you need to make changes. You need to wake up. And it could involve, you know, maybe for some people you may have to go through some type of breakdown so that you kind of, it's kind of like a wake-up call. Okay, you know, I've been convincing myself that things are like this, but now I see the truth. Things are not like I was imagining. And waking up to the truth, it forces you to change. So with the Judgment, you're going to start feeling stronger. And you're going to start to make real changes in the way you live your life. And even in taking better care of yourself, your health, just doing things that are healthier for you. And that's going to, so then your needs are going to change. And the things that used to be, that you used to find pleasure in, you may not find pleasure in anymore. So there could be, you might be leaving a relationship behind because it doesn't fit anymore. Or you might be rebuilding something that fell apart. If you're involved in a relationship, the Hermit, this is in your environment. So you might decide to go to counseling, because the Hermit is about going to someone for advice, following the doctor's orders. You know, you might go to a counselor, or you might go to speak to someone whose opinion you trust, you know, to go for guidance. Like, what do I do? I feel like my life is falling apart. My relationship's falling apart. You know, whatever, you know, used to work in the past is no longer working. I need to change, but I don't know how. I mean, you might be going through a confusing time. And a counselor could probably help you, or some type of, you need some type of assistance at this time to help you sort everything out. And if you're having relationship problems, a partner could also be going through soul-searching time. You know, maybe your partner is questioning, is this relationship right for me? We keep we keep going through the same pattern, and the pattern, you know, there's like a lot of hostility in this relationship, and frustration and resentment and passive aggression sometimes. And they may be thinking, you know, maybe I need to walk away, or maybe. So it doesn't mean, though, that I feel like that in the outcome is going to be positive, but you may have to go through this turmoil. It's kind of like growing pains, where you kind of wake up to the truth, you realize you have to make changes, and then you seek help. You know, the Hermit sometimes can make you feel like you're alone in the world, like there's no one out there to help you. But the Hermit, there are people there, you just have to reach out to them. You have to ask for help. You have to seek that help. And it might even involve a change of residence, because this Knight of Wands is here. The Knight of Wands can represent a change of job, a change of residence, whatever it is that's not working, whether it's career or relationship, whatever that's falling apart right now. It may be that it's just the Tower never takes away what you don't need, what you need. It kind of takes away things where you've been wasting your time or your energy, so that once you see the truth, you know where you have to change. And so you could be changing your residence, you could be changing your job. Sometimes this energy, you may feel like you need an adventure, like your life is too routine. You need to shake things up. And that could be the Tower energy too, that you're feeling so oppressed and you just can't take anymore. You just want to shake things up. And so sometimes a vacation or a trip can do that for you. You could change the energy around you. And then the outcome is the Star. The Star is a card of hope. So after the Tower, after whatever breaks down with the Tower energy, like in your mind, you may feel like everything's falling apart. This is in your negative thinking sector. So your thoughts are creating your reality. So if you're thinking everything's falling apart, you could be creating that. It could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it doesn't have to be that way, because you do have the Star of Hope. So you have to really change your mindset and focus on the positive. If you've been too critical with loved ones, or you've been too negative, thinking about, the worst case scenarios, you're kind of getting back what you're putting out there. So you have to learn to put out positive energy so that you get back positive energy. But it takes two to tango. I mean, I'm not saying it's all your fault. I mean, there are two people in a relationship. So that's why it's important to just look at your part and try to see the things from the other person's side too. And then take some time out. It may be that you need time away from someone so that you can think, do I want this person in my life? Is there anything I can salvage from this situation? What do I need to change within me to make things better? What do I need to ask for from the other person to make things better? That's the energy I'm getting from this. And if you can make those changes, and if you can be strong, because the Judgment sometimes also involves forgiving someone. No situation is perfect. So you may have to forgive someone for their transgressions, but at the same time, talk things over so that you don't repeat the pattern. So for some of you, you might be talking to people and trying to work things out. And if the person is willing to work with you, you can salvage the relationship. For others, where if you're dealing with someone who refuses to change and you feel like that nothing's ever going to change, you might decide to just walk away, cut your losses and move on. But in any case, you have this dream, this star. So whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, whatever you're trying to achieve, you will get there. You just have to get through some rough spots along the way. But mostly you have to make changes within yourself. Changes in the way you're approaching your goals, whether it's a relationship or a career goal. You have to take more responsibility and stop depending on other people. You might be depending too much on other people for support when you need to step up to the plate. So let me look at the full moon in Cancer is happening. It's activating your 12th and 6th house. So some kind of health issue or some kind of psychological issue is being revealed at this point, at this time, at this full moon. And it's a very emotional full moon because Cancer is a very emotional sign. You feel like you really need nurturing. But yet at the same time, we have Venus conjunct Capricorn and the Sun. Venus and Saturn and the Sun and Pluto are all together in Capricorn. So you're feeling that people are being harsh with you. So if you go to like a doctor or you go to a counselor, you're going to be getting tough love. People are going to be saying, you know, you need to do this, this, and this. You have to follow directions exactly. And you may not like that idea. So you may feel that people around you, even if it's a work situation, especially authority figures, might be very critical. Or you may feel like, hey, I'm really doing all this work and I'm not getting enough recognition. That could be another thing with the 6th house. The 6th house is a house of work, employment. It's also the house of health and service. So you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to work on yourself and change your habits. Whatever you're doing that's harming your health, you need to have a different type of lifestyle. Maybe change your diet, change your sleep, get more sleep, rest more, stop working so hard. The other thing is, you know, with this card, talks about moving or change of location, change of residence. You have Jupiter going through your 4th house right now. So Jupiter and Mars shakes things up. You might be moving into a new home or a new location that you feel is a lot more cheerful, that has where you have a lot more room to move, something that's bigger, something that's brighter, more sunshine. And you might be fixing something up. You might be working around the house with Mars in the 4th house. Either that or you're fighting with the people you're living with. If you're not, so the way to get around that is, you know, do some physical thing like reconstruction. And that could be the tower also, breaking down, rebuilding. You might be remodeling a home. And you have Neptune in the 8th house. Neptune in the 8th house, you could be, you need to watch your finances. You may be depending too much on someone else for financing. Or you might be trying to help someone out financially that comes to you for help. Because Neptune has this martyr, victim kind of energy where you want to take care of someone who's less fortunate. So either it's you're the person who's begging for money or help, or you're doing that for someone else. And so you want to balance that out, especially with this 6 of Pentacles here. The new moon in Capricorn on January 16th falls in your 6th house. So it's a good time to get on a new health plan or a new way of doing things. There's a lot of Capricorn energy and Venus is there. So you can salvage your relationship, but you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to work at it. You still have Jupiter and Mars. You're going to have Jupiter in Scorpio. It's going to be in your 4th house for about a year. So you have this luck now to establish a happy home for yourself. But you're going to have to do some work and change some of your habits if you want to create that. Uranus is in your 9th house, so you might decide to just... That's the rebellion. You might have a change of ideology with Uranus in the 9th. Or you might decide to just travel spontaneously. Maybe you just decide, I need to go on a trip. I need to move to a different location. Change my residence. Uranus is, you know, it's like you need to be freed from something. You need to be freed from the routine of something. You need some adventure in your life. So you may decide to just, or even go back to school and learn new things. Because the 9th house is the house of higher education, learning, teaching, spirituality. You know, you might meet someone who introduces you to a unique spiritual path, something off the beaten track. You know, maybe something that's like New Age or something non-traditional. And then finally, on the 31st, you have this eclipse, this full moon eclipse. So it's almost like in Cancer, the full moon shows you how you need to change to improve your health, to improve your mental, both physical and mental health, how you're getting in your own way and causing problems in your life, and what you need to do to change to make things more positive. So then you make the changes at the new moon. At the full moon eclipse, that's falling in your 1st house. So you could be like a new person by the end of the month. If you do the work and you really are committed to the path, you could have, you could see real change in you and the way you're seen in the world and the way you present yourself to the world, and it will help your relationships. So you could come to some type of culmination by the end of the month in a relationship, because it's activating your 1st and 7th house, this eclipse. So that could either make or break a relationship depending on how you do the work, because eclipses speed up the timeline of things, where you may want to get committed in a relationship, you might want to commit to a relationship. You know, if you've made improvements throughout the month, by the end of the month you might be ready for commitment, or you might be ready to just chuck it all and walk away. I mean, that's the kind of energy that's with eclipses. It's a sudden need to act, because eclipses come, it's like you get hit with something out of the blue and you have to respond, and you have to make a quick decision. So it could be that you get an ultimatum. Maybe you're afraid of losing someone. You need to make some real changes, because there's a danger with an eclipse that someone might be eclipsed from your life, or whatever decision you make at the eclipse time will change your life in a way that you can't go back to the old way. So if you decide to move to a new area, you might give up everything, like the help. You might just have to walk away from the past, or if you're walking away from a relationship, it's something that you won't be able to go back to. So choose wisely. Whatever decisions you're making, don't let it be a decision based on rebellion or some kind of psychological reaction. Find out what you really need. Find out what's going on. How am I blocked? What is hiding in my unconscious that's causing problems in my relationships, problems in my life. And once you get at that source, then you can make decisions based on what you see and what you know in your conscious state. So you're not being run by unconscious programming. But you have a chance to reinvent yourself with these eclipses, and even create new relationships that are healthier, that are taking you along a better path. But you'll have to first work on yourself, because you have the 6th, 12th house. It could be also some karmic relationship is ending. Maybe you had a karmic connection with someone, and you had to play out some role with that person. Once you learn the lesson and you complete the karma, then you're free to move on into something new, into something that's healthier, that's better for you. So you're going to have some work to do in February, but the end result is the star, and you have the ability to accomplish the goal. So don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on the future or your dreams, but you have to, and don't forget to ask for help if you need it. Help is there for you. You need to kind of come out of this unhealthy routine that you've been in, and take better care of yourself, and get on the right track, and get away from this, whatever's dragging you down. And you can do it, Leo. I really have faith that you can do it. The star is here for you. This star is also represents spiritual forces that are guiding you. So you might be called to do something. Some little voice might be, guiding you. You might be having some kind of intuition that's saying, go in this direction. This is what you need to do. Follow that voice. It's going to lead you to the right path. And you can have a rebirth of yourself and a new beginning in relationship. So that's my advice for you for January, Leo. I hope this has helped, and I wish you the best for the new year. Much love, much success, good health, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.